Welcome to Storiq, where every story finds its voice. Immerse yourself in unforgettable audio stories, from chilling horror and gripping mysteries to heartwarming romance and timeless classics. Put on your headphones, press play, and let the story begin. The Last Library Beyond Time. An original science fiction audio story. By A.R. Blackwood. Have you ever wondered what would happen if every book ever written suddenly disappeared? Not burned, not stolen, simply erased. Every novel, every history book, every scientific discovery, every poem, every memory humanity had ever preserved. Step 1. Hidden nearly 3 kilometers beneath the Earth's surface, there exists a library that was never meant to be found. Place where books are written before history happens. A place where tomorrow's disasters are already sitting on dusty shelves. And tonight, one ordinary scientist is about to receive a message that should be impossible. A message sent from the future, because somewhere in the darkness, someone is trying to erase human history itself. And if the last library falls, humanity will never even remember it existed. There is a place on Earth that does not exist on any map. No satellite has ever photographed it. No government has ever admitted it exists. Yet beneath thousands of meters of ancient rock, there waits a library. Not a library of the past. Library of the future. Every book inside tells the story of events that have not yet happened. Wars that have not begun. Civilizations not yet born. People who have never taken their first breath. And tonight, one man is about to discover it. His name is Dr. Elias Rowan. He has no idea that before sunrise, everything he believes about time, history, and reality will be shattered forever. The clock beside Elias's bed glowed softly. 3:13 a.m. Again. For the 27th night in a row. The signal arrived at exactly the same second. Not 1 second earlier. Not 1 second later. His apartment speakers crackled with white noise before a sequence of strange tones filled the room. Most people would have heard meaningless electronic sounds. Elias heard language. He had spent 20 years decoding radio transmissions from deep space. Patterns were never random. Every signal had a sender. Every message had a purpose. His fingers raced across the keyboard. The computer translated another fragment. The words slowly appeared on the monitor. Do not let them burn the last library. Elias stared at the sentence. He whispered it aloud. The last library. There were libraries across Earth. Museums still protected printed books. Digital archives held billions more. So why did the message speak of only one? And who exactly were they? By sunrise, every major research institute had received the same transmission. Governments declared it an unexplained anomaly. News channels called it a hoax. Social media flooded with jokes. Within 48 hours, the world had forgotten. Everyone except Elias. Something about the signal felt personal, almost as if it had been sent only for him. 3 nights later, the transmission changed. This time there was no sentence. Only coordinates. Latitude, longitude, depth. -2,914 meters. Elias frowned. Nothing built by humanity reached that depth beneath those Icelandic coordinates. He checked geological surveys, military records, mining databases. Nothing. Solid volcanic rock. Which meant either the signal was lying, or someone had hidden something impossible beneath the earth. A week later, icy wind whipped across the Icelandic highlands as Elias stood alone in the darkness. No roads, no buildings, no lights, only black volcanic stone stretching endlessly beneath the northern sky. His handheld scanner vibrated. Coordinates confirmed. Exactly here. He looked around. Nothing. The ground trembled. A perfect circle appeared beneath his boots. Ancient machinery groaned somewhere below. Dust drifted into the freezing air. Slowly, the circle rotated. A black elevator emerged from the earth without making a single mechanical sound. No company logo, no buttons, no lights, only a single doorway waiting silently. The doors opened. Inside stood an elderly woman wearing a long gray coat. She looked nearly 90. No visible implants, no artificial skin, no cybernetic enhancements. In an age when most humans chose to look 30 forever, she had allowed herself to grow old. She smiled. "You took longer than expected." Elias hesitated. "Who are you?" "A librarian." "I don't understand." "You will." The doors remained open, waiting, against every instinct telling him to run. Elias stepped inside. The elevator began descending. 100 meters, 500, 1,000, still falling. No vibration, no sound, only silence. The display finally stopped showing numbers. "Is it?" One word appeared. "Okay." The doors slid open. Elias forgot how to breathe. Shelves, endless shelves. Millions upon millions of books stretched farther than the eye could follow. Leather bindings, ancient scrolls, stone tablets, crystal memory blocks, printed novels, languages he had never seen, languages humanity had not yet invented. The air smelled of paper and rain. Impossible, beautiful, alive. "This," he whispered, "can't be real." The old woman answered quietly. "It is the last complete record of human civilization." She walked deeper between towering shelves. "We have been waiting for you." Before Elias could ask another question, he noticed a book lying open on a wooden table. Its cover shimmered faintly. There was no author's name, only a title, History of Earth, 2178 to 2401. His heartbeat accelerated. Publication date, 2402. His hands trembled as he opened the first page. The opening chapter described today's date, the weather, the global news, a signal, his flight to Iceland, every decision he had made, word for word, even the sentence he had whispered moments earlier. "This can't exist," Elias said. The old librarian looked at him calmly. "It already happened." "It hasn't happened. For you," she replied. "Not yet." Suddenly, every light in the archive flickered. A deep vibration rolled beneath the floor. Somewhere in the darkness, millions of pages turned at exactly the same moment. The sound echoed like a storm approaching through endless corridors. The old woman's expression changed. For the first time, she looked afraid. "They're here." "Who?" Before she could answer, an explosion shook the shelves. Books rained onto the stone floor. A child's voice echoed through the darkness. "They found the archive." Everything went black. Darkness. Complete darkness. For a brief moment, Dr. Elias Rowan could hear nothing except his own breathing. A single book hit the floor. Another. Then hundreds. Then thousands. The silence of the archive shattered beneath an avalanche of falling pages. Somewhere beyond the endless shelves, something was moving. Not walking. Not running. Gliding. As if the darkness itself had learned how to hunt. Emergency lights slowly flickered to life. A dim blue glow spread across the gigantic underground library. Rows of books stretched endlessly into the distance, disappearing into shadows that seemed deeper than night itself. The elderly librarian stood perfectly still. She wasn't frightened anymore. She was listening. "They're closer than I expected," she whispered. Elias swallowed. "Who are they?" Instead of answering, she pointed toward the far end of the hall. A figure emerged from the darkness. Its body looked almost human, but its face had no features, no eyes, no mouth, no nose, only smooth white skin where a face should have been. Its long black coat drifted without touching the floor. Behind it, more shapes appeared. 5, 10, 20. They moved together like shadows carried by the same wind. The librarian spoke one word. Erasers. The creatures stopped several meters away. None of them spoke. The books around them began disappearing. Not burning, not crumbling, simply vanishing. One moment they existed. Next, they were gone. The empty spaces remained on the shelves as though those books had never been written. Elias watched in horror. "What are they doing?" "They don't destroy paper," the librarian replied. "They erase existence." A history book vanished. Immediately, Elias felt a sharp pain behind his eyes. He suddenly couldn't remember the historical event described inside it. Neither could the archive. The shelf itself rearranged, as though that chapter of history had never happened. The vibration beneath the floor grew stronger. Ancient machines hidden deep within the mountain awakened. Massive gears turned somewhere below. The entire archive seemed alive. Thousands of tiny lights illuminated pathways between the endless shelves. The librarian grabbed Elias by the arm. "We have very little time." She led him through a maze of towering bookcases. As they ran, Elias noticed something impossible. The books were moving. Not falling. Moving. Volumes slid across shelves by themselves. Entire collections changed places. Ancient scrolls floated gently through the air before settling into new locations. The archive was protecting itself. Or trying to. Behind them, the erasers continued advancing. Every step they took caused another section of history to disappear. A shelf filled with books on ancient Egypt blinked out of existence. Suddenly, the pyramids disappeared from every digital map in the world. A collection on classical music vanished. Millions of people instantly forgot melodies they had known since childhood. Reality itself was changing, not because the past had changed, but because memory had been erased. They reached a massive circular chamber. At its center stood an enormous crystal sphere suspended above the floor. Inside it floated billions of tiny points of light. Each spark pulsed gently, like stars trapped inside glass. "What is it?" Elias asked. "The memory core. It contains every story humanity has ever told." "Stories. Stories create civilizations," the librarian said. "They become history. They become science. They become hope. If every story disappears..." She looked directly into his eyes. "Humanity forgets how to dream." A soft voice echoed behind them. "You shouldn't have brought him." Elias turned. The silver-eyed child from Part 1 stood beside the crystal sphere. He looked no older than 12. Yet his eyes held centuries of sadness. "You," Elias whispered. "You sent the signal." The boy nodded. "My name is Kalen." "Who are you?" "I am the final archivist." "How old are you?" "I haven't been born yet." Elias stared at him in disbelief. Kalen walked toward the floating sphere. "The future is collapsing. Every timeline where humanity survives ends here. In this library. That's impossible. So is tomorrow." The boy smiled faintly. "Yet tomorrow always arrives." Without warning, the crystal sphere flashed. Thousands of glowing threads spread through the chamber like rivers of light. Images surrounded Elias. Cities floating above oceans. Forests growing on the moon. Human colonies orbiting distant stars. Children laughing beneath two suns. Everything changed. The visions became darker. Empty skies. Ruined planets. Silent spacecraft drifting forever. Libraries reduced to dust. Earth. Without people. "What happened?" Elias whispered. Kalen answered quietly. "The erasers won. They removed one story at a time. One discovery. One invention. One memory. Eventually, humanity forgot how to survive." A loud metallic scream echoed through the archive. The chamber doors exploded inward. The erasers had arrived. This time, they did not stop. They walked directly toward the memory core. As they approached, the lights inside the crystal sphere began fading. One by one, thousands of stories disappeared. Thousands of memories vanished forever. The librarian stepped in front of Elias. You must protect the core. How? I don't know. No archivist has ever succeeded. The lead eraser finally spoke. Its voice sounded like dozens of whispers layered together. We do not destroy. We simplify. No memories. No conflict. No pain. No future. Only silence. The creature raised its hand. The crystal sphere cracked. A single beam of white light shot toward Elias. Everything around him froze. Time itself stopped. Only Elias and the silver-eyed boy could still move. Kalen looked at him with absolute seriousness. The archive has made its choice. You are no longer just a visitor. You are now its last librarian. Time had stopped, not slowed, not frozen by technology. Up. The dust from the shattered crystal hung motionless in the air. The falling books remained suspended above the floor. Even the erasers stood perfectly still, like statues carved from living shadow. Only three beings could move. Dr. Elias Rowan, the silver-eyed boy, Kalen, and the archive itself. What happened? Elias whispered. Kalen looked around the silent chamber. The archive paused reality. For how long? Outside. Less than a second. Inside. He smiled sadly. We have as much time as the library can afford. A low vibration echoed beneath the stone floor. The bookshelves surrounding the chamber began to move. Not sideways, not forward. They rotated like enormous gears inside a hidden machine. Millions of books shifted into new positions. Together they formed a gigantic spiral. At its center, a single pedestal slowly rose from the ground. Resting upon it was one book. Unlike every other volume in the archive, this one had no title. Its cover was completely black. No words, no decoration, only a silver symbol that seemed to change every time Elias looked at it. It has been waiting, Kalen said quietly. For me. For centuries. Elias stepped toward the pedestal. The moment his fingertips touched the cover, the book opened by itself. Its pages were blank. Words began appearing. Not printed, written. As if an invisible hand were writing them in real time. The first sentence read, Dr. Elias Rowan opened the Book of Origins. He frowned. The next sentence appeared immediately. He wondered whether he still had free will. A chill ran down his spine. How does it know what I'm thinking? Kalen answered without surprise. It isn't predicting your future. It is recording the moment reality chooses. The pages turned by themselves. Each chapter revealed another impossible truth. One page described the birth of the first star. Another recorded the extinction of civilizations millions of years before Earth existed. Then came a page that contained only one sentence. Every universe begins as a story. Elias read it again. And every story needs someone to remember it. Behind them, faint cracks spread across the frozen crystal sphere. Time was beginning to move again. We're losing the pause, Kalen warned. You need to understand why the erasers came. They want the library. No, they want something inside it. Kalen pointed toward the black book. They're afraid of that. Elias looked confused. It's just a book. Kalen shook his head. It isn't a book. It's the first story ever told. The story from which every universe was written. The source code of reality. A deafening crack echoed through the chamber. Time restarted. Everything happened at once. The suspended dust crashed to the floor. Books landed with thunderous echoes. The shattered crystal exploded into streams of blue light. The erasers moved again. This time, they charged. The lead eraser raised its pale hand. The air twisted. Entire shelves disappeared. Thousands of books vanished instantly. Elias felt memories slipping away. He struggled to remember the names of ancient cities, the faces of famous scientists, Even fragments of his own childhood blurred around the edges. "They're inside my mind," he shouted. "They erase memory first," Kaelin replied. "Then history follows." The old librarian stepped between Elias and the advancing figures. She removed a small brass key from around her neck. "I've protected this place for 62 years. She placed the key in Elias's hand. "It belongs to you now. What does it open?" She smiled. "You'll know when the time comes." Without warning, she turned toward the erasers. She raised both hands. Every shelf in the chamber burst into brilliant white light. Millions of books opened simultaneously. Words lifted from every page. Letters, sentences, entire languages. The words circled the librarian like a glowing storm. The erasers stopped. For the first time, they hesitated. "The archive remembers," she declared. "And as long as it remembers, humanity lives." The storm of words rushed forward. The glowing letters struck the erasers one after another. Each creature staggered backward. Their smooth white faces cracked like porcelain. Darkness leaked through the fractures. Not blood, not shadow, nothing. Pure emptiness. But there were too many of them. The lead eraser lifted one hand. The storm of words dissolved instantly. The librarian looked at Elias. There was no fear in her eyes, only acceptance. "Run!" Before he could answer, the eraser touched her forehead. She didn't scream. She simply faded. Her body dissolved into thousands of tiny fragments of light. Then even the light disappeared, as though she had never existed. Elias stood frozen. He tried desperately to remember her name, her voice, her face. Nothing. The erasers had erased every memory of the woman who had guarded the archive for decades. Only one thing remained. The brass key in his hand. Kaelin grabbed Elias's arm. "We have to go." The floor beneath them split open. A hidden staircase descended into darkness. Far below, a faint golden light pulsed like a heartbeat. "What is down there?" Elias asked. Kaelin looked back at the advancing erasers. His silver eyes reflected the dying light of the archive. "The Vault of Forgotten Worlds. It's the only place the erasers cannot enter. And it's where you'll learn the truth. The truth about them. The truth about the archive. And the terrible reason you were chosen." There are places even time refuses to remember. Worlds that once existed, and then vanished without a trace. Not destroyed, not conquered, simply forgotten. Hidden beneath the last library, beyond every shelf, beyond every page, lies the Vault of Forgotten Worlds. And tonight, Dr. Elias Rowan is about to discover the greatest secret humanity was never meant to know. The ancient staircase spiraled endlessly into the darkness. Each step was carved from smooth black stone. No dust, no cracks, no sign that anyone had walked here for centuries. As Elias descended, faint golden lights appeared beneath his feet, one by one, like stars awakening beneath the stone. Kaelin walked ahead without speaking. For the first time since they met, the boy looked afraid. "How much farther?" Elias asked. "Almost there." "What exactly is this place?" Kaelin slowed his pace. "It's where forgotten realities come to rest." "I don't understand." "You will." Minutes later, the staircase ended. Elias stepped into a chamber so enormous that its ceiling disappeared into darkness. Floating throughout the chamber were thousands of glowing spheres. Some were no larger than an apple. Others were the size of buildings. Inside each sphere, an entire world rotated silently. Mountains, oceans, cities, forests, civilizations, entire universes, trapped inside glass-like orbs. Elias stared in disbelief. "What are they?" Kaelin answered softly. "They are the worlds the erasers already consumed." Elias approached the nearest sphere. He saw a beautiful blue planet. Towering crystal cities reflected sunlight into the sky. People with silver skin walked through gardens suspended in the clouds. Children laughed. Music echoed across oceans. Without warning, everything froze. Buildings faded. The oceans vanished. The people disappeared one after another. Within seconds, the world became a lifeless gray rock drifting through darkness. A tiny inscription appeared beneath the sphere. World 8312. Forgotten. Elias stepped back. They erased an entire civilization. They erased its story, Kalen corrected. When the story disappears, the world follows. The chamber trembled. Far above them, a distant explosion echoed through the archive. They're getting closer, Kalen whispered. They'll reach us. Not if we find what we're looking for. And what is that? Kalen pointed toward the center of the chamber. The first memory. At the heart of the vault stood an enormous tree unlike anything Elias had ever seen. Its trunk appeared to be woven from glowing pages. Instead of leaves, millions of tiny fragments of light floated gently from its branches. Whenever one touched the ground, it transformed into a sentence before dissolving into the air. The tree seemed alive. What is it? Elias asked. The memory tree. The first living archive. Every story ever imagined grows from here. As Elias approached, the tree reacted. Its branches slowly lowered. A single glowing leaf drifted into his hand. The moment he touched it, the chamber disappeared. He was no longer inside the vault. He stood beneath a sky filled with unfamiliar stars. A young woman sat beside a river, writing inside a notebook. She looked up. She smiled. You finally arrived. Who are you? My name has been forgotten. Then how do you know me? Because I wrote you. Elias frowned. Wrote me? She nodded. Every person, every world, every possibility begins as a story. She handed him the notebook. The first page contained only one sentence. Reality exists because someone imagines it. The second page was blank. So, she smiled. The next chapter is waiting. For me. No. For whoever chooses. The vision shattered. Elias found himself back inside the vault. The glowing leaf had transformed into a golden feather. Kalen's eyes widened. You received it. What is this? The author's feather. It only chooses one guardian every age. What does it do? It doesn't write stories. It writes reality. Before Elias could ask another question, a deafening roar shook the vault. The massive doors behind them exploded inward. Stone blocks crashed across the chamber. The erasers had found them. Hundreds of them. Far more than before. Their featureless faces reflected the golden light of the memory tree. The lead eraser stepped forward. Its whisper echoed through the chamber. You cannot preserve what was never meant to remain. The memory tree began losing its light. Leaves turned gray. Branches cracked. One by one, the glowing worlds suspended throughout the chamber went dark. Each fading sphere represented another forgotten civilization. Another erased history. Another silent extinction. Kalen looked at Elias. If the memory tree dies, the archive dies. If the archive dies, every book on Earth becomes blank. The lead eraser extended both hands. A wave of absolute silence swept through the vault. Every floating sphere stopped glowing. Every whisper disappeared. Even Elias could no longer hear his own heartbeat. The silence wasn't empty. It was erasing sound itself. The golden feather in Elias's hand began to shine. Words appeared in the air around him. Not written by anyone. They simply existed. One sentence after another. Stories, poems, dreams, memories. Every word became a stream of golden light circling the memory tree. The branches slowly began glowing again. The erasers stepped backward. For the very first time, they were afraid. The lead eraser spoke one final sentence. If the author awakens, everything ends. Before Elias could ask what it meant, the entire vault shook violently. A hidden doorway opened beneath the roots of the memory tree. Beyond it, a blinding white light stretched into infinity. Kaelan stared at it in horror. "No! It's opening already." Elias looked at him. "What is it?" Kaelan's voice trembled. "The door to the first author." Every story has an ending, but some endings become new beginnings. Beyond the roots of the memory tree, beyond the reach of time, Dr. Elias Rowan stood before the oldest doorway in existence. Had no hinges, no lock, no handle, only an endless white light that seemed to breathe. Was the door to the first author. The golden feather in Elias's hand began to glow brighter. As he stepped forward, the world around him disappeared. The last library, vault, the erasers, even the earth itself, vanished. He stood in an endless ocean of stars. There was no floor beneath his feet, only light. Countless books floated through space like galaxies. Every book opened and closed by itself. Each page created a new star. Each sentence formed an entire universe. Voice spoke, came from everywhere and nowhere. "You have come farther than any librarian before you." "Who are you?" Elias asked. "I am the first author." A figure slowly appeared. Not old, not young, neither man nor woman. Its face constantly changed. Every human face that had ever existed, and every face yet to be born, passed across it like reflections on water. "Were you the one who created the universe?" Elias whispered. The first author smiled. "I created the first story, and the universe chose to become real." Elias looked around at the floating books. "So reality is written?" "No, it is imagined. Every choice creates another page. Every dream writes another chapter. And every life becomes a story worth remembering." "But why do the erasers exist?" The first author grew silent, then answered. "Because every story creates shadows. When hope exists, despair follows. When memory exists, forgetting is born. The erasers are not evil. They are balance. They erase stories that no one protects." Elias thought about the worlds inside the vault. So humanity was losing because we stopped remembering. The first author nodded. "You abandoned stories. You replaced curiosity with convenience. You stored knowledge, but stopped valuing wisdom. The last library survived only because a few people still believed stories mattered." Suddenly, the stars around them began disappearing, one by one. The erasers had entered. Impossible. Even this place was no longer safe. The endless white sky darkened. Entire constellations blinked out of existence. The lead eraser emerged from the shadows. "We have come for the beginning." The first author looked at Elias. "There is only one way. What do I have to do?" "You must write." "I've never written a book." "You don't need to. You only need one sentence." The golden feather floated into the air. Before Elias appeared a single blank page. Nothing else. No instructions. No prophecy. Just empty space. He understood. For the first time, the future was unwritten. Every previous librarian had tried to preserve the past, but the future had to be created. Elias closed his eyes. He remembered the smell of old books, his mother's bedtime stories, the excitement of discovering something new, the joy of asking impossible questions. Then he wrote, "As long as even one person chooses to remember, no story will ever truly die." The words glowed like a newborn sun. The page burst into brilliant golden light. The light spread through every floating book, every page, every star, every universe. The erasers stopped. Cracks spread across their featureless faces. Darkness poured from within them. The lead eraser looked at Elias. For the first time, Its voice carried emotion, not anger, not fear, relief. "It is written." One by one, the erasers dissolved into streams of black dust. Instead of disappearing, the darkness transformed into tiny letters. The letters drifted gently into the books surrounding them. The first author smiled. They were never your enemies. They were waiting for someone to finish the story. A brilliant wave of light swept across reality. Inside the last library, every vanished book returned to its shelf. The shattered memory core rebuilt itself. The memory tree bloomed brighter than ever before. Far above, across the earth, people paused. Children wandered into libraries for the first time. Old bookstores filled with visitors. Writers who had abandoned unfinished manuscripts picked up their pens again. Teachers told stories instead of simply repeating facts. Parents read bedtime books aloud. Without knowing why, humanity had remembered something it had almost lost. Elias opened his eyes. He was standing once again inside the last library. Kaylin smiled. The timeline changed. You did it. What happens now? Kaylin looked toward the endless shelves. You become the librarian. And you? The boy smiled softly. I finally get to be born. His body slowly became light. He disappeared. Not erased. Born. Or. Him. His story had finally begun. Years passed. No one on the surface ever discovered the last library. They didn't need to, because the library had never existed to hide books. It existed to protect imagination. And somewhere beneath the earth, Dr. Elias Rowan walked between endless shelves. Whenever a child invented a new story, a new book appeared. Whenever someone dreamed of a better future, another shelf grew. The library was no longer the last. It had become the first place where every future begins. Closing music, warm orchestral theme, the gentle sound of a page turning. Narrator. At this very moment, there is another book appearing on one of those shelves. A book containing the story of the person listening now. 'Cause every life is a story, every choice writes a sentence, and every ending is simply the first page of another adventure. Thank you for listening to Storiq. If you enjoyed this audio story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new story. Share this journey with fellow book lovers, and until next time, keep listening, keep imagining. Goodbye.